Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm not sure if my audio. Can you hear me, Dwayne? Awesome. All right. Uh, we have about 8 people in here, and I have an echo in my headphones, which I need to give me 1 minute. There's that. I think that might be better. Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo. Good. All right. 9 people are in here. We have Dwayne, Gordon. Hi, Gordon. Oh, Dwayne, I have your. Hi, Mike. Dottie, good to meet you. And Dwayne, I have your video. You've submitted a question for Jim. I have that uh, coming up, but I forgot to put it on my list. So hold on 1 second. I will get it. All right, 10 people are in here. Let's see. All right. So hi everyone. I'll just get started. I'll introduce myself. I mean, pretty much everyone here so far knows who I am, I think. Dottie, I don't think I've met you. Rodney, I know you. Hey, Rodney. Good to see you. Mike, I'm not sure I met you. The name isn't that familiar, I don't think. And Dwayne, of course, I know you. But does anyone not know who I am or anything about this channel? Let me know, and I'll be happy to introduce myself and talk a little bit about what's going on. Is there anyone who doesn't know what this is and just happen to pop in randomly? Oh, I think Jim's doing really good, Mike. We'll see him here in a second. Um, I guess you all know who I am. I'm Colin Brown with Bluegrass Trading Company. I started Banjo All Stars. And I really appreciate everyone coming here, especially on this first broadcast of the Banjo Advice Live. Um, I'm really grateful that you came out tonight. And Mike, is my first time too. This is our very first Banjo Advice Live, so I really appreciate you guys taking a chance and coming out tonight and seeing, kind of experimenting and seeing how this is going to go. I really don't know. I have a lot of hope. There's no reason to believe that it will crash and burn, but I have Jim Pankey with me tonight, who's going to save me. So I'm very thankful for him. And so, oh, Mike, okay, yeah. So I just started it. This channel is called Banjo Advice Live. Brought to you by Banjo All Stars, which is a project I started last year. Trading cards, you probably know about those. Series 1 trading cards were released in April of last year, and I worked on them for several months with various portrait artists, about 10 portrait artists, and 42 different players were featured, including Jim Pankey. And so he's been grateful. All the stardom that he has hasn't stopped him from giving me some airtime with him. And so I'm really appreciative of him for that. And so the idea here is I just want to help my banjo players like myself, beginning banjo players who have followed Jim perhaps and other players, but would like to get some personalized feedback about their playing live during this stream. Hopefully once a month. I'm planning on doing one of these once a month with various banjo players who have, I won't mention their names just yet because we haven't actually finalized their in being included yet, but some of them have said, yeah, they'll jump on. But every month I want to bring on another player, and we're going to go over questions that you have about your playing. And so you submit, the idea is you submit a video of you playing, and in this case, Jim will give you personalized feedback on your style. So whether you need help with timing, tone, or maybe there's something going on with your right hand that needs to be worked on, or maybe you're doing fantastic and maybe he's just going to show you just that little extra level up, like just, hey, you want to do a little lick here at the end, you're going to sound a million times better. He might do that. So so I'm looking forward to this series. I think it's going to be really fun once we work out all the kinks and get into the swing of things. I hope that makes sense. I have, let's see, 6 of you that, who have submitted, or 5 of you who have submitted videos, and then a couple of you who have submitted just text emails for questions for Jim. And I can't wait to go through those. Some of you guys are all great players, but Jim will be happy to help you. And yeah, all ages too, all ages. We have a young man, 14 years old. He might be joining us today. I'm not sure if he's going to be on tonight, but these are all recorded. So if you're unable to make it, this will be recorded. And if you have to jump off for whatever reason, don't feel bad. You can always come back and watch this later. And then, of course, I did mention giveaways. There's going to be lots of those. I have plenty to give away today, and the giveaways are sponsored by Bluegrass Trading Company, my company, and we offer the trading cards. So we have these sets to give away tonight. Who does not have these cards? If you do not have these cards, let me know, and I will be sure to make sure you get a set before you leave tonight, if you do not have them. But we also have a few other options for giveaways if you already have enough. If you're up to your ears in Banjo All-Star cards, I have other stuff that you might want. So kind of just take a gander around here. I have this J.D. Crow acrylic portrait ready to go. So Dwayne, okay. I thought you had a series. I thought you had a full set. All right, but you're going to need one of these full sets. Depending on how many people show up tonight, you may all get cards. So we'll see. We may not even have to do a raffle of any kind. So we'll see how that goes. You got it, Dwayne. But we will also have framed Jim Pankey 8x10s or 11x14s. They're 11x14 with an 8x10 mat framed, we'll have one of those for giveaway. And if you already have the cards, and we'll see. I'm leaving it kind of open to see what everyone wants for a gift. So, and for your participation, I'm really thankful for that. So, all right. Hi, Tom. Good to meet you. For sure. Yeah, this is our first time too. So we're kind of doing this together. We're learning how to do this together. Now, my guest tonight, this is not his first time. He's kind of been around the block. You all know him, Jim Pankey. This is definitely not his first rodeo. So with that said, I'm gonna pop him in here, and he can introduce himself. And let's see, Jim.
Hey, y'all.
Jimbo.
Here. What up? Oh, I'm gonna fall out of this chair. I can just feel it. Oh. Hey, so
how are you doing?
Obviously, I'm doing all right. Obviously, Colin can see everybody that's here. I cannot. So, hey, have at me. As far as I know, well, hang on here. Let me see what we got. Oh, I've got comments. Oh, well, how about that?
You see
the
comments?
I can see the comments. So that's good. Looks like we've got folks. Looks like some folks from YouTube and from Facebook. Awesome.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, Rodney's on Facebook.
That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, cool beans. Yeah. So hey, y'all. Figured we'd give this a whirl. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at text so I can see what's going on. I can't see. So I have to make it bigger.
You have a few portraits behind you.
I've got a couple. Yeah, I've got JD and Earl, and then I'm up there as well. And then I have all of them like right about there. Yeah, I've got the big poster. So
I have a few blank spots on my wall now today. Yesterday I shipped off a few of the original paintings out to the players. So I had to let go of them. I finally was able to get them sent out. So I'm going to have to fill these spots up with some new Jim Pankey prints.
Yeah, you need a Jim Pankey print. What's up?
But Sammy Sheeler, I had his painting sitting up there, and I sent that out. Nick Hornbuckle just received his, and
cool.
So that's the last of them that I've sent out. So pretty happy about that.
Yeah, Nick's a good one. I like Nick.
So Jim, thank you so much for jumping on with me. It's very kind of you to kind of do this experiment with me. So I really appreciate it.
It's easy enough to do. It's convenient. It's Thursday. What else was I doing? So there's that. So yeah, it worked out just great. And looking forward to it. I've had preview of some of these questions, and I kind of looking forward to it and seeing how this goes, because I don't really know. I teach workshops and stuff, and then a lot of times, I'll get students or people that just ask me questions, and I'm like, do you want to know, like, how honest do you want me to be? And are you just looking for encouragement? Are you looking for criticisms? What are you looking for exactly? So I'm kind of used to this sort of thing. I've taught banjo since the 70s. So I'm used to pointing things out, but sometimes, folks just want encouragement, and I can do that too. So it's like, a lot of, I know myself that a lot of times I know what my issue is, and I don't necessarily need somebody to point it out. I just need somebody to pat me on the back and say, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get better. So I can do that too. So, this is fun.
I think that by the end of this, we will get a better feel for how to set up these questions a little bit more deliberately, so that we can answer them, some of these might be harder to answer than others. And so we'll learn a little bit how to
Yeah.
properly format these questions too over time. So
Yeah.
I appreciate
I'm game for
everyone.
whatever.
All right. So before we start opening up some of these questions, I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking to you and getting to know you a little bit better. There's actually some things I don't know about you. So
All right.
um,
What do we
if
want
that's
to know?
okay.
I'm an open book, man.
All right. All right. You said you've been teaching since the 70s.
Yeah. So I had a buddy in high school, and he wanted to learn to play the banjo. So I was learning, and he played guitar a little bit, and would I would learn something and I'd show him. Well, he caught on really quick. And so at that point, we were just kind of trading ideas. He'd learn things, show me, I'd show him. So I started out with that. And then, there'd be some kid or somebody we knew want to learn to play the banjo. So I started taking students, while I was still in high school, but was teaching other people how to play. So yeah, I've been teaching a while.
Pretty much since you started playing.
Pretty much, yeah. I started playing in '77, and by '79 I was teaching, which probably had no business to. And but I did kind of have an idea of. I knew how I learned, and I knew the process that worked for me, and I could share that. And then over the years, I got better at figuring out how to help different folks learn, and that was that that was a process. But in the beginning, yeah, I was just like, okay, here's what I did, this is what you should do too, and it worked for some and not for everybody else.
Really quick, I just wanted to say hi, Dan. Hi, Kylie. Thanks for coming. Really happy to see that you're here. Can't wait to see see your questions too. Those are going to be fun to watch. So I really enjoy, just for entertainment value, I love listening to you guys play. So, but Jim, so where do you think you came up? So I found you in about 2017, October of 2017, from Banjo Hangout, and I knew I've always wanted to play the banjo my whole life. Ever since I was a little kid, my dad played banjo, and I grew up going to bluegrass festivals, the whole works, as a little kid, mostly in the West, growing up in the Southwest, California and Arizona. But I was born, out east, where my in Philadelphia, where my dad's actually from. So he was a contemporary of all the sorry, all the names are the Northeast. Steve. Sorry, I can't think of any names when I'm on the spot, but yeah. So I grew up with the banjo mostly, and I've always wanted to play, but just couldn't do it when I was a kid. And when I got to be older, in my mid 40s, I said, I'm finally going to do it. But I was a little bit nervous. Everything that all the courses that I've, all the different YouTube videos just they seemed a little intimidating for me. I'm coming at it with a lot of baggage, just knowing that it basically, I thought that only wizards were capable of playing the banjo. There was a lot of mysticism around it for me personally, and so I came at it with a lot of tension and stuff. And so I found you in 2017 on Banjo Hangout. You presented your
series, yeah,
your 10 lesson series, and that just sort of took a weight off my shoulders instantly. The way you taught, the way you presented yourself in a very relaxing, friendly way, like, hey, this isn't a big deal. Don't make a big deal out of this. Here, well, I was making it, 30 years of a big deal out of, this thing, right? And you kind of came along and said, dude, this is not a big deal. Just
it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. And and you proved it right. So
Wow. And
I
it's
wanted
just the
to,
thing we learn.
yeah. But did you teach that way? Was that your presentation since the set? Like since you started teaching?
Probably since the 90s, I started to really hone in on, how to approach it. So probably since the mid 90s, uh, early 90s, whatever. Somewhere, yeah, that'd be about right. Late 80s, early 90s, I started kind of really developing what I felt like was a pretty fair approach, but it still harkens back to kind of how I learned. I had a book by a guy, Lee Elliott. He's still around. You can find him on Facebook. He lives up in, I don't know, Indiana, Illinois, somewhere in the Midwest. And Lee had a book that he put out in the mid 70s, and it just kind of broke things down in a very cookbook kind of manner. I was already playing a little bit. I could play, a few songs, but then I looked at Lee's book and I thought, well, dang, this just really makes sense. And so I incorporated a lot of his ideas, a lot of the way he broke it down. And then years later, talking to Lee, finding him, he learned to play from Garland Shuping. And this is pretty much the way Garland taught. So in some way, maybe I'm carrying on a tradition that I didn't know I was, but it was, but yeah, based on how I learned, the way Lee presented stuff in his book, and then number of classes and private students I've had over the years, it just was a matter of trying to put together something that built step by step, like everything led to the next. It wasn't like me throwing you into the pool. I gave you basic skills, and each time I add a skill, we don't get rid of the old skill. We just keep doing the same thing and we just add to it. So I really believe in learning that way, because that's the way I learn. I learn a thing at a time. I'm fairly slow as far as how I learn stuff, but I tend to grab one idea and just work on it until I understand that idea. Now, I might, like right now, I've got several little things in my head that I'm pondering on, but that I'm working on the instrument, but I only focus. I kind of focus on one thing at a time. So like in my lessons, I did that lesson one, and I said, now go work on this. Come see me in a week, because I wanted my students to take and spend a week learning each of those lessons. So I get people that dive into those lessons, and then 2 days later they've blasted all the way through them, and I just don't feel like, for me, I could have never assimilated all that information that quick. So for me, I still feel like it's important to take that information and really, really assimilate it, get it in your muscle memory, get it to where you can do it without
Internalize
thinking
it.
about it. Yeah, you really got to internalize it. So if that means sitting around going for a week, then that's what it takes. And if, because you've really got to be able to do those roles and be able to have a conversation at the same time. And the only way you can do that is to spend a lot of time doing it. And
You also
that,
say that singing, if you can, sing while you're playing, right?
sing, yeah,
Yeah.
sing, hum out loud, those types of things. And that's part of the process that I learned was being able to hear that melody, really emphasize the melody, and just do it. A lot of people, they approach banjo, and this is just from experience. And this, I'm speaking in generalities, but a lot of people approach it as just a string of notes, a string of things that you do with your fingers, and they struggle to hear what the melody is, even if they know the tune. So I feel like singing it really helps you understand where that melody's falling.
Yeah.
Like with Cripple
That's
Creek, it's
that's
in,
what I have trouble with. I find that I do better if I learn just the melody first.
yeah,
Like
it's
I don't
helpful.
do any rolls. It's just one note at a time, and I can try to find the notes just one note at a time and don't do any rolls or slides or anything like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty useful to be able to do that. And for me, the other thing that I was doing, and I really don't cover this a lot in my lessons because I honestly I've not figured out a good way to do it, but I do it with my private students, well, a couple that I've got. But I also learn chord changes to songs and know where the chords change and hear the chord changes and those types of things. But that's a sort of thing that I have a difficulty uh, teaching that in a video format. Whereas one-on-one, we can sit and we can experiment and try chords until you can hear them. But on the video, it's hard for me to know what you're trying because I'm not there with you. But although it does seem like it, you know, I am really on the other side of this camera, and I can't hear what you're doing. So it's a little hard to teach that. But that's another thing that I do is I'll learn the chord changes to a song. I'll learn the melody chord changes, and then I'll start trying to piece together, a break out of rolls or bits of rolls.
so I just have one main question before we move on to the other questions. How different are you in person than you are on your YouTube channel?
Oh, I'm a lot grumpier in real life. I, you know, I try like but not really. Now, I have my moments like everybody else, but for the most part, I think what you see on the channel is what is really deep inside of me. I mean, I obviously have to be nice and pleasant and those types of things, but I mean, I think we all might strive to do that. But there's like, but in a private lesson, if you're coming to me and you're consistently not practicing, not doing what I ask, you're gonna get the gym that's gonna be real blunt with you and tell you, why are you wasting my time and yours, you know? And but hopefully I can do it in a nice way. But yeah, you pull in front of me, cut me off, I might get ugly with you. But other than that, I'm just a regular run of the mill guy. So pretty
I get
much
that
what you see
sense.
is what you get.
Meeting you in person, yeah, I would agree. After meeting you a couple times in person, I would say you're what you see is what you get.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not smart enough to build a persona and hide behind it. What I'm not nearly
I guess I
that
just
good of
have
an
one more
actor.
question. I thought I was going to
Okay.
be done, but how long did it take you to feel natural in front of a camera?
Oh gosh, a while. I mean, it really is. So like some of my early videos where I am just playing and trying to interact with the camera. Oh, that I go back and look at those and they look so forced because they are, and they look hokey. I look like a goober, and but it is what it is. And that was part of the process of being able to perform in front of that camera. And then I got a lot of practice making lesson notes for students. So like if you came and took a lesson, I just brought my phone up, camera up, and well, back in those days, I carried one of those little, I forget what it was. It was just a little video camera, because we had flip phones, and you could take a little video. And so I would take a video and then upload it to YouTube and keep it unlisted and share that with my students. And that way they'd have reference as to what they did all week. So I was getting practice video. And then I had a fellow that wanted some lessons. He lives here locally, wanted lessons, but he couldn't be bothered to come take a lesson. He'd say, hey, Jim, just make a video. It's like, okay. And so I got practice doing that for him. And there are a few of those out there in my lessons that I actually made for Keith. And then it took a while. It took a couple of years to where I was actually fairly comfortable talking to a camera like it's somebody. And now, like like I've got an iPhone, you know, and this iPhone Pro, it's got 3 little cameras on the back, and I turn it up here sideways, it looks like a little face. So I've got a face I can talk to. I used to take a little Post-it note and put it on my camera, make a little face, or on my phone, a little face on it, and you know, look here, stupid, and I'd have me a little note, you know, just to remind myself where to look, and remember that I'm not just talking to a camera, I'm talking to somebody, and that makes it easier too, you know. It's like, and then it's just like, I think the big part is, it wasn't so much being comfortable with the camera and recording. It's really, it's a journey of being comfortable with yourself, and so that's kind of part of the process as well. So how long did it take? I don't know, a couple of years before. And by the time I was doing the instruction videos, like the 10 lesson series, yeah, I was super comfortable sitting in front of a camera. It took a little longer. I mean, but the more I've done it since then, definitely way more comfortable now than then. But it was still, I mean, it's still a process, and still.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear. I listened to your on Dwayne Hess's radio show. Hi, Dwayne. I heard your interview with him, and you mentioned Big Red.
Oh yes,
John Batchelor. You said
John Mark.
He inspired you to get started. So that's
well,
pretty
yes,
cool.
Yeah, he had some videos that, I mean, and they were not step by step. There was no hand holding. It was just like, he took like Lonesome Road Blues, for example, slowed down the high break to that and just played it through slowly. And I'm going, hey, that's a cool lick. I've always wondered what that was. Now I've seen him do it slowly, and I can speed that up. And it's like, dang, that's what I've been looking for 30 years. And I thought, you know, I can do that. I can post videos like that. So a lot of my early videos, you know, I'll teach you a whole song in 2 minutes. You know, I'm just running, you know, I just do not even a slow walkthrough, a quick walkthrough, and then I'll play through it, and boom, you know. And so I started out doing that. And yeah, Big Red was he was the motivation for me to start. I figured, hey, if he can do it, I can do it, you know. And so that's how that
really
started.
Cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Well, all right. That was awesome. Let's move on to some questions. Who should we do first? Is there any particular one?
I have no preference. Hit me with whatever.
All right. Let's see. How about let's try. Let's do. Let's look at Kylie. Is it Kylie or Kaylee or? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. So we'll get you on here. Let's see. So we have, hi Jim. I'm a self-taught player of a year, and I feel I do okay on the mechanics of playing, but still struggle getting a stronger sound on pull-offs, push-offs. For example, in the clip I sent, you can tell that my 3rd and 2nd fret push-off isn't very magical. Any suggestions on how to achieve the sound I'm looking for? And then she provides.
Can you play that link?
Let's give it a shot.
Oh, this is tech.
Can you guys hear it?
I cannot hear her.
You can't hear it?
I can't hear it.
How about you guys? Were you able to hear anything?
I wonder. Oh, it's going through. Yeah. Welcome to technical issues number 1.
Oh, okay. You guys can't hear it. All right. How do we? You've done this before, Jim.
Well, I've never done this before.
I wonder if I take my headphones off, maybe, and
try that.
All right.
Try that and see. Maybe we can just hear it through the. You'll have to turn them off. I don't hear anything. Y'all hear me still? Hmm.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, I'm going to play this video now and see if it plays. If you can hear the sound.
All right. Okay. So I hear what you're doing. And one thing I want you to sit and do, grab that 2 to 3 pull off and do it without even the right hand to where you can get a good clear note where you're actually picking that note. The other thing that you're doing is you're trying to hit that note and pull off at the same time. You got to wait. You got to hit the note and then do the pull off. And it's not just, you're not just picking your finger up. You're plucking that string. You want to pluck it. So you want to pluck the string. Don't just pick it up. And so you're going to have to sit and work. Just pluck it. What you're doing by just picking up is what it feels like you're doing. You could just do a backward slide. It's going to get the same sound. So you really want to pluck that string. And also it's a timing thing. You want to hit the note and then do the pull off. I do a pull off. I think I'm seeing you do a push off, and that's cool. Either way works. I do both depending on how it's going. But so is that helpful?
Yeah, let us know, Kylie, how you think about what you think about that. I love listening to your tunes that you post every now and then. So good job.
Yeah, I've got no beef with what you're doing. But definitely just sit and just work on that pull off by itself without the right hand until you can get a good clear note, and then time that pull off to after you strike that string, because problem happens sometimes is the pull off happens too soon and it gets lost. So it's just a matter of separating that thing out by just holding on to that thought just for a second. All right, there you go. Good. All right. Well, work on it for a month and then post a video again, and let's see if you made improvements.
So just, I don't know if everyone knows that any of the videos, the questions that we're presenting here tonight will receive a gift. So either if you already have the cards, then whatever you want from Bluegrass Trading Company, anything Banjo All Stars related, I can get that set up for you. I'll get something out to you. You just name it, it's yours. So just to show my appreciation for your participation, especially on this first broadcast, you took a chance with us, and I can't thank you enough for that. So just go to my Etsy store and say, I want X, Y, or Z, and tell me what it is, and I'll send it to you. Just give me your address, shipping address, and no problem. So thanks again.
Maiden voyage.
Yeah. So, all right. With that, maybe we'll do a giveaway now. Maybe we'll do a giveaway.
Maybe I'll win. What did I win? Hey, for what it's worth, y'all are the first video to see this. I
Look at
mean,
that.
we're like it's in a video, not just presented. So there you go.
That's
It-
the
it can't-
that's the 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
plaque.
that's the play button. It can't live there. I don't know where I'm going to put it.
Yeah, you're running out of space there. Everything's kind
Oh,
of
I can shuffle.
teeter
but, you know,
tottering on everything.
yeah.
I'll be sure not to send you any more like portrait Banjo All-Star portraits or anything. It might fall on you. All right. So did everybody get a chance to sign up on my sign up form? Let me post a link. I posted it earlier in the chat, but I'll post it again if you have not signed up yet to do the giveaway. So there it is. I'll let me show that in the banjoallstars.com/giveaway-sign up, and it's a random name selector that I put together, and since there's 22 of you in here tonight, shouldn't be the odds of you winning should be pretty good. So, and we'll be giving out these cards and signed. I know Jameson. I don't know if you're on, Jameson. Oh, Jameson is here. Hey, see, you're finally here. Yes, I have for you. I have a prize for you too, but I have as a giveaway as well. We have a signed Terry Balcom portrait. He was kind enough to sign a couple of those for me at IBMA last September, October. So I'll have those as a giveaway. For this giveaway, this first giveaway though, I'll be giving away this full set of cards. It's the complete set of Banjo All-Star trading cards. It has 12 packs in here. Each pack has a limited edition card. So there's one limited edition card per pack. And so there are 12 packs since there are 12 limited edition cards. You can see more details about all of these cards and all the different players on the website, banjoallstars.com. You'll be able to just click on all the Series 1 information to get all the details you need. Jim is, of course, on the website. You can see his card on there.
You can see his card on my shirt.
Yeah. In the proper orientation.
It's weird wearing a shirt with your own picture on it, though. I will say that.
You ever go on any first dates?
Case I forget who I am. That's what it is. If I lose my shirt, folks will know who to give it back to. So that's what it is.
Exactly.
It is. Yeah, I went out today with a shirt on, and I know people are going, yeah, well, this guy ain't right. Yeah, got my own picture on my shirt.
All right, I see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 entries. So give it a couple more minutes, maybe. And or not. Maybe I'll just pick a winner. Let's see. Can you see my entry form here? I have a little button here that just randomly selects a winner. Hopefully I didn't break it. It worked. Oh, actually, I'm not sharing my screen. Oh.
You're not.
There we go.
How about that? Woohoo.
There.
Boy, talk about transparency. I mean, this is the height of transparency.
All right. Let's see. How many more do we have? All right. Quite a few more came in. All right. What do you guys think? Should I wait a couple more minutes or should I pick a winner?
Well, you got more stuff you're going to give away, right?
Yeah.
Give something away.
So
and then
just so you know, once you've entered, you don't ever have to enter again. even for future live streams. The only caveat is that if you want to win, you actually have to be present during the live stream so that when we announce the winner. If you're not here when we announce the winner, we'll give it a couple minutes. If you're not here, then we'll pick another winner. So, but you never have to. Once you submit your name into this system and your email address into the system, that's it. You don't have to do it anymore. Just show up. And yeah, and then if you win, we'll reach out to you separately when this is over and get all the details we need to get this stuff shipped to you. So, all right, so we'll pick a winner here. Jay is the winner. I masked out his email address, but Jay, if at AOL.com, just give me a shout out in the chat if you're there, and we'll call it good, and we'll reach out to you after this and get the cards shipped out to you. Just let us know. Just say, hey, that was me. Jay, I hope you're here. All right,
There he is.
there he is. Oh, yay, Jay. Thanks. There he is. All right, Jay, thank you so much. All right. Okay, let's move on to another question. Let's go with Jameson. He was one of the first to submit a video. Jameson is 14, I believe. Jameson, is that young man? So, but you play with tremendous experience. So I wouldn't have known if you didn't say what your age was. So fantastic. Let's share this. Let's see. All right. No.
I'm Jameson, and I got a question, as everybody else on here does. Anyway, my right hand. I watch people like Rob McCurry, J.D. Crowe, Earl Scruggs, Sonny Osborne, Jim Mills, Charles Pittman. They all have really unique and defined right hand, and it gives them what I would think the perfect tone, which is their own tone. But anyway, and their own sound and unique banjo playing. But anyway, when I watch them and look at my right hand, I think my right hand's not as defined, and it doesn't give me what I. It's not as defined, and it basically looks weird. Don't look like a banjo player's right hand. So, watching my right hand just then, do you think there's anything I should change?
All right, so you've been playing a little over a year, right? And it takes a while before your right hand starts to settle down, and you're gonna make lots of changes over the years. Just looking, it looks like you've modeled your right hand like kind of like what J.D. Crowe does, which is fine. And if that's comfortable for you, then hang with it. The other thing that I learned to do, and I learned this from a guy he was a pool hustler, and he was teaching me to shoot pool. And his name was Bob. And Bob was one of the first people I ever knew that had a video camera. And this would have been in the early 80s. And Bob had a camera and he could record. And so we would shoot pool, and Bob would record everything that I did. And then afterwards, we would go back and I would watch myself play pool. And so I took that idea home with me. I didn't have a camera, but I could sit in front of a mirror and watch my right hand and try to make sure that I wasn't doing anything really weird, wasn't doing any, no extraneous extra movements or anything. And that was helpful. The other thing for you is be more intentional in what you're doing with your right hand. Uh, Slow down. And I know everybody's going to tell you this, and you're like, but I can play fast. Yeah, you can, but slow down. I want you to continue to play fast. You've got to work on that, but slow down, be intentional, and start really listening to your tone creation. Listen to how you're driving through those strings. But it takes a while, and don't make big changes, make little changes. Changes to your angle, changes to something as simple as adjusting the height of your armrest can change your posture. It can change your tone. Here's an example that I saw years ago at one of the Maryland Banjo Academies, and I can't remember which one it was, but Tony Trischka and Bela Fleck were there, and Tony and Trischka were playing Bela's banjo. And at the same time, same banjo, two different right hands, two completely different tones. And Tony's right hand typically has a little more arch, and he gets a lot more mid-rangier punch. Bela's hand was a little flatter, got a little more bass response. So play with that arch. When you start working on your tone production, you can get different sounds just based on where you put this part of your arm on your armrest. And so those types of things make a difference, but don't make big changes, make little changes. And and something I tell people, and I will tell you this too, is the fact that you're aware that there's something that you're not happy with is the solution to fixing it. And there's not a right answer. I can't say, well, hold your hand this way or hold your hand this way, because you can watch different players. Everybody you mentioned all holds their right hand differently. So, you're going to have to find that for yourself, but you're going to find something that's comfortable. And, so my advice is find something comfortable, find something without a lot of extra movement, because that's going to be more economical for you. And just find something that sounds good. And then don't worry about what it looks like anymore. Because we all look different and we all play different. But slow down, be intentional with what you're doing, and really, really, really listen and think about your tone production. And yeah, I think this is one of those things that's going to sort itself out just based on the fact that you're even aware that there's an issue. I know that's like a non-answer, but that's kind of what I got.
Saying something here. Yes. Anyone? Was it Lance? How long was that, Lance? Let's see. I think that was your name, Lance. Yes, you can submit. Questions anytime in the chat, but with the email. Any video questions will be a little bit more difficult to do now. But definitely, if you wanted to submit a video, you could do that for a future advice live, Banjo Advice Live show. So, but during the chat, ask away. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jameson, that was awesome. Very, very happy for you, and you're super knowledgeable too. Can you just say that? Wow, the knowledge you have about the banjo players and everything. You're on the right track.
Definitely. And that's what it takes. You really have to dive in. You start looking at other players. Unfortunately, we live in an age now to where you can see Earl play and you can see all of these pickers through YouTube. But like with, when I was learning to play, I couldn't see them. I only had records, and, the only way I ever got to see someone was you actually had to go see someone. And, that wasn't something that I could do on a regular basis.
I just wanted to bring up too. I met you in person for the first time last year in May during a live stream. Actually,
Right.
We did on your channel.
Right.
Giveaway. That's when the cards first launched, and we were doing a giveaway then. But we picked a little after the live stream together, and I was super nervous. Super nervous and had a lot of tension in my hand, and you of course picked that out immediately. My fingers tend to we're just on the topic of right hand, my fingers tend to fly a little bit, and it really has it really has to do with tension, and I wanted to play fast because we were going to do it. There was a song I learned from you, is Salt Creek. And I want to play it fast, just like you do on your channel. That's a really good one to learn, by the way. If anyone hasn't seen his Salt Creek tutorial, definitely check that out. It's so fun. I love the different chords and everything. The chord on the B part of the song is really interesting too. But I brought a lot of tension to that, and you noticed some things that I hadn't noticed before, even besides the tension. And I don't think that the tension was the problem that you found. But you noticed that when I played, my hand, and this is something I had no idea I was doing, and it was really insightful, but to this day, even I'm hyper aware of it, and I have to be very conscious of not doing it. And it's, do you remember? Probably not, but I remember it. So it was very, when I pick my index, oh, you can't see my.
Yeah, your index finger comes out.
But my index finger was like coming, it was constantly like I was rotating my hand a lot.
Right. Yeah, I remember that now.
And it was
so you were picking with your elbow instead of your finger.
Yeah, and it does actually have to do with tension, I think, because my fingers are all tensed up. And so if you can't move your fingers, well, something has to move.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so the past year, that's all I've been trying to do is focus on, it's kind of an oxymoron, focus on relaxing. So that was a really insightful thing that has really helped in a lot of ways, at least just being aware of it. So appreciate that. And that's a really hard, I don't know if it's just a habit or just physiological thing that I do, but it's a really hard one to break.
It's not unusual. I see it a lot, and you can see some pro pickers do it, and it's typically minimized. But what you will see is when they're picking, you see their hand moving around, and that's one of the things that I tried to learn right off the bat is just keep my hands still and let my fingers do the work. And so after my surgery in 2021, the end of 2021, I had that 3-month layoff where I wasn't playing. And when I started back, that's one of the things I had to work on again, was getting that right hand stabilized where I didn't have a lot of extra motion, where it's just the fingers, not the hand doing the roll, but just the fingers. And so I see it a lot. You see
people's middle fingers fly out a lot too, right?
You see a lot of flyaway fingers as well.
What is the root cause of that?
I'm not really sure. The solution is not to do it. That sounds harsh, but I mean, you just kind of have to be aware. And you remember what I did with you is while you were playing, I took and put my hand up next to yours, to where every time it come up, you bumped into something. And so, that way you're a little more aware of it. But, I can't walk around with you and put my hand on yours all the time, but you know,
speed, definitely speed is correlated.
yeah.
If I play really slow, I'm like the best right hand technique ever.
Yeah. And so what you do is you do that slow a lot, and so don't speed up a lot.
Yeah.
Speed up a little, just micro accelerations. Don't go from 100 beats to 120, go from 100 to 101, until 101 is comfortable, and then to 102. You just move slow until it all sticks. Takes a while.
We have a question from Mike Stinson that I posted up on the as a banner on the live stream. You can see, what advice do you have for overcoming stage fright?
Play on stage a lot. Every chance that you get to get on stage and play, just do it. And yeah, it's gonna stink for a while, and you're gonna be nervous, and you're not gonna play as well as you'd like, and you're gonna beat yourself up over it, and you just have to do it again, and then you do it again. And there's no trick, Well, you can look on the internet, and there's every type of tip in the world of, things to distract yourself. Just imagine everyone in their underwear. Well, that's a huge distraction. I'm not going to be able to play that well if I'm imagining all these people in their underwear. But I remember one time, and I was young, and it's like, why am I nervous? I'm the only person here that can play the banjo at all. And it's like, I should be a king, and so here I am. And so that, at that point, that was helpful.
In some universities, you would be king. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can play the band. None of you people can play. I'm the only one here who can do this. And so what am I worried about? Even if I'm lousy at it, I'm still better than all y'all. And so that was very helpful for me in that moment. But really the key to getting over stage fright is just seriously, you got to do it a bunch. You just got to do it every chance you get. Play. And the thing that helped me was, and boy, talk about worst case scenario, was I started playing all the little fiddlers conventions. They have a banjo competition at these conventions, and you get on stage, you play your 2 songs, and you get judged. People are scrutinizing your playing, and talk about being nervous. That's certainly a situation where you can be nervous, especially if people are actually listening and waiting for you to make a mistake. Yeah. And so I played every one of those that I could get to. And did I do well? No, but I got better, and the more of them I played, then it just got to be just like sitting here talking to you. It's just like, you just go and you just play. And so, like anything, the more you do it, the better you're going to get. But as far as tips, like immediate things, just remember to breathe. Remember, you're probably, you're doing fine. Anybody that plays banjo, they don't care. And those that don't, they're going to love it. I can just assure you that. So, and then the other thing that'll help you, and I don't know if you go to church or not, but if you do go to church, and you go to a church where you can take your banjo. I played a lot in church, and it's a good, safe place to play. People are very encouraging. People come up to you after the service, say, "Oh, it's such a blessing when you bring your banjo and play." And I'm like, we're still in church. You're lying, because I'm terrible, but it is a great encouragement. So, that's an easy place to play that, nobody's going to criticize you too bad for it. But yeah, just play a lot. Every chance you get. Every chance you get to play somewhere, go attend little jam sessions, attend little open mics, all of that. Just do all of those things.
Yeah, Kylie has a similar question. Speaking of that tension and nervousness, how do you get past that? Like beginning to play in jams. We have a local jam that meets every Saturday morning. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right.
I've been twice, and I've done a lead or 2. Awesome, but was petrified. And I played slow because I was nervous. How do you get past that?
You just play a bunch. You go back. You go every Saturday. And you always, and when it comes around to you to do something, you just do it. You just do it. You just grab it, you go for it, and it'll get better every time you do it. It's like when you was learning to drive. You're nervous. You're nervous, and then pretty soon, you're driving down the road. You got a sandwich and a drink, and you're talking to your buddy, and it's just you're super comfortable at it, and somewhat reckless, and you get that way with the instrument too. Going to jams, you finally, after you've done it enough times, it'll be no big deal, and you can have fun with it, and you can try new things. The jam session is the best place in the world to try a new tune or a new lick or something. And because
we have a place here in East Tennessee near Maryville, Tennessee here, and it's in a town called Walland. It's about 20, 30 minutes east of us. But every Friday, there's an old school called Rocky Branch. And every Friday, I think it's every Friday, literally for the entire year, they don't ever close it down, is a jam session. And it's an old school, so there's a bunch of different little classrooms in there. And each classroom is filled with a slightly different bluegrass genre. Like
right,
maybe they'll have like a fiddle room or old time country, guitar, singing room, a Scruggs room. Every Friday they do this, and it's packed. It's completely packed every Friday. So I've actually been to that a couple of times, and I mean, everyone's super skilled, but there are some, everyone's at a different level, and it's a little scary, to be honest. But and if I'm in a scary situation, I don't like if I'm having trouble hearing the chord changes, because that's my biggest problem at jams, is just being able to hear chord changes and play along, at least just the backup chords. And that's the skill. If there's one skill you need during a jam session, is to be able to look at the guitar player and look at the chord that they're doing and go, oh, okay, I see that's a C or D or G.
mm-hmm.
And that at least the first or second round of breaks, then you're in the race. You're in it. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to learn, is really hearing those chord changes and recognizing those chords on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't, I'll mute the strings. I'll just mute the strings and pluck and do vamping, like that kind of stuff, just to say I was there and at least be around it. So
I mean, being able to spot guitar chords is a pretty useful skill, and that was fortunately for me. Dad played guitar, so I learned to watch him and figured out what the chords were by watching him. And that way, if he took into a song that I didn't know, I could at least follow him. And it's like, okay, all right, he went to C. Okay, I know where to go now. I'm at least had an idea. And at a jam session, that's you're going to be doing that more than you are going to be taking the lead breaks. So it's useful to definitely, have that knowledge. And plug for me, go do my bluegrass banjo backup series that I've got, and get you some backup skills, because you're going to be doing that more than you are anything else.
Jason Graff has a question. Do you have a practice regimen? That sounds bad. Steps, like a warm up.
No, not really. My practice pretty much consists at this point, and it's always been this, is I would just sit and pick tunes. It's like I pick up my banjo and, I tune up and, and just play something slow. And it's like, okay, I've not played the banjo today other than just, tuned up before I came in here. And so if I was just going to sit and play, I'm just going to play and see what happens. So today's song that comes out of my fingers is No Mother or Dad. All right. Now, it's not always that, but I have a handful of songs that I usually start with: No Mother and Dad, Fireball Mail, are a couple that I will sit and just warm up with, because I don't have to, there's not a whole lot going on. And I'll just warm up with a tune like that. And then I'll think about, okay, do I want to learn a song or am I working on a lick? And so lately I've been working on licks. And then I've been spending time getting the lick under my finger so I can do it every time. I've yet to even apply it in a song. At some point I'll start doing that. But no, my practice, I don't really have a regimen. I mean, it changes. Sometimes I will put on a recording. Like when I was learning to play, my practice consisted of me putting a record on the record player, putting the needle down and playing through the whole record, turn it over, play through the whole other side. And that meant I was practicing different tempos, different meters, like either 2/4 or 3/4 songs. I was having to use my capo. I was having to play in different keys. Some records require me to retune just a little bit. So like on the Foggy Mountain Banjo album, that ground speed cut is from an earlier session, and Earl is tuned almost a half step sharp. So when ground speed pops up on the recording, then I'm have to stop the record and tune to the record. So I was learning how to play with other people, learning how to tune my banjo, learning how, and that was the bulk of what I did when I was learning to play, was playing along with other recordings. And then if there was a lick or something I needed to woodshed, then, I'd turn the record player off and I would just sit and work on those. But my practice now is playing along with other recordings. I still do that. And I just sit. I mean, a lot of times practice time for me turns into noodle time. I'll just sit and noodle and work on stuff. And a lot of it is just, for me at this point, it's diagnosing problems. Why does that sound bad? Why am I not getting good tone here? Why am I speeding this part up? And a lot, practice isn't just about doing a thing. Practice is about listening to what you're doing. I tell my students all the time to listen. It's not just about making sounds come out of this thing. You got to listen to what's coming out, and you got to be, you really got to be hypercritical of it so that, that's the way you're going to improve. And listen to yourself play, and don't listen to your friends that tell you how great you're doing, because they'll lie to you, because they don't know any better. They don't mean anything, they don't mean it in a bad way, but so don't believe the press you're hearing about yourself. And so, but my practice schedule is, I play every day, usually an hour or two every day. And over the past, over all of last year, I broadcast my practice on TikTok. I did, I had enough followers on my TikTok that I could do a live stream. I thought, hey, here's a good safe place to practice and keep myself accountable. Nobody's going to watch that, but it was fun. I met some good folks, made some friends in the process, and it was just a way to keep myself accountable to a practice schedule. Plus, it also gave me a video that I could go back and look at my right hand and see what was going on and make improvements. So recording yourself is important. And I have old cassette tapes that my mother held on to that has where I recorded my practice sessions. Definitely listen to those. Record yourself, put them away. Don't listen to them right away, especially in the beginning, and then come back later and listen to them and see if you've made any improvements or see what you need to fix. Because if you listen to them fresh, they're going to sound great. Hey, this is fantastic. I sound like Earl Scruggs. And then, you can go back a week later and listen to them and go, oh gosh, that guy can't play the banjo at all. But distance yourself from it a little bit and then listen to it and then be critical and make yourself better. But yeah, practice the hard stuff. That's the other thing that you need to do. Don't practice that stuff you know how to do. Practice the stuff that you don't know how to do. So, like if you have trouble with that 3-2 pull off, then that's what you need to be working on. If you can do all that other stuff, but you can't do that, then work on that pull off. Or, if your slides are weird, work on those. If your bends are weird, work on those. Work on the stuff that's giving you trouble. That's where you're going to make your most improvement anyway.
Yeah, I would just follow up with that. Just having self-awareness, really in tune, no pun intended, with your just every little nuance about your positioning, your left hand, how coordinated are you between your right hand and your left hand? I mean, little things. Just be super aware. Is there a way? Can you be too analytical? Probably.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, there is a point where you have to be able to say, "Well, that's good enough," but no. I mean, you can. It's important to. It's important to listen to what you're doing and try to make improvements where you can. I mean, I've been playing since 1977, and I'm still looking for a better tone, and I'm still looking for, better techniques and better use of my body. And it's just, and now, approaching the age I am, it's definitely more difficult. And I'm glad that I have built in some practice habits that have, that I've, continued to do. Otherwise I'd be in a mess. So yeah, practice while you're young, and then build those habits and keep doing them once you get older, because you're going to need them. I tell you.
We have one more question before we move on to a submitted question, a question from chat. We have Jeremy. What do you do when you show up to a jam and there's already 2 or 3 other banjo pickers? My favorite part of banjo is playing backup, but it gets so messy with more than one banjo.
I usually, I'm a curmudgeon. I usually just leave my banjo in the case. I'll get me a cup of coffee or something to drink, and I'll sit back and I'll just listen to other people. And I will take that time to analyze what other people are doing and figure out, maybe they're doing something that I'm not. And I go into lick thief mode. I start stealing ideas and licks and trying to remember what's going on. And eventually, somebody's going to take a break, and then once they take a break, then I'll get my banjo out. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of playing in a jam with multiple banjos. I kind of like a monogamous relationship with banjos in a jam session. If there's already one, I'm not going to add another one to it. I might sit, or I might notice that, hey, nobody's playing a mandolin. I don't know much about mandolin, but I can chop chords, so I might do that. But yeah, I typically those.
How often are you going to jam sessions?
Oh gosh, hardly any more at all. I mean, occasionally, like if I go to a festival or something, then I'll sit or check out some jams. But no, I'm not going to a regular jam session. I haven't done that in quite a while. The luster of that kind of wore off for me. I mean, I like to go to a jam, but I'm I guess maybe I'm a snob, but I like to play with the people that I play with, and at a certain level, to a certain degree. But there was a little jam here that I used to go to occasionally, but they were playing a lot of weird old country tunes and stuff that I liked, but it really wasn't a bluegrass jam. So I didn't get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And then there's another, we have a regular Wednesday night picking that happens in Chattanooga area, and I'll go to that occasionally. And from time to time, it's really good. But by the end of the evening, it generally deteriorates into stuff that I'm not interested in, and then I put my banjo away. But like I went to Spigma, I played a little bit there with some folks, and that was fun.
Not in the hallway, right?
No, we hid in the rooms and picked.
No jamming in the hallways.
Well, yeah, you can jam in the halls, but you have to get out of the way, and definitely don't block the hallway where folks can't get through.
I think that's a meme now, isn't it? Don't jam in the hallways. So look, I didn't plan to go longer than an hour. I had no expectation as far as how long, but it is it's 20 minutes past the hour. I'm happy to keep going as long as.
Well, let's go. Yeah. Do another question. Hang on. I get some water. I mean, as long as people can tolerate me, we'll just do this.
I appreciate it. All right. This is from Rodney. He's a Facebook friend. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Jim. I have learned a lot of songs from your lessons. I could submit a video for you of a song I've learned, no matter what source I've learned it from, but I don't think that is where I need the most help. Where I need the most help is learning how to play with others. It's another good jam.
Mhm.
I've tried playing along with random songs from the Bluegrass Junction, but I have a hard time finding the chords. Yeah, me too. I need to learn the fretboard alphabet. I would be grateful for any suggestions and or advice. Thank you, Rodney, for this.
Well, so as far as jams, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, I don't know so much about fretboard alphabet and all of that because I can figure out where notes and stuff are, but really, as far as chords and stuff, I mean, I know where my major chords are, I know where my minor chords are, and I know where my seventh chords are, and I just memorized them, and but I didn't start out just memorizing all of them. I just remembered the ones that I needed. And like when I first started playing, I was mostly playing in the key of G. So I figured out where all my G chords were, figured out where all my C chords were, and I figured out where all my D chords were. And that was good enough. And that got me by. And as far as playing along with tracks and different recordings and stuff, that takes a while. Fortunately, there are folks that are making little jam tracks and play along tracks at different tempos, and those are super helpful. I didn't have the benefit of that. When I learned Train 45, it was off one of the J.D. Crowe recordings, and the thing was at 200 beats a minute. It's like, wow. And I had really no way of slowing it down. And other than, putting the record on 16, and then it was half speed and an octave lower. But it was, I just was forced to do it. But like with a lot of stuff, though, no, you can't just do it. You're not, and expecting to just be able to do it, I think diminishes the amount of hard work that you're going to have to put into being able to do it, and the amount of hard work everybody else had to put in to be able to do it. Get something like Strum Machine and work with the jam tracks, little play along tracks. Jack Hatfield used to sell those. I know I've seen some on YouTube that you can just play along with, and they'll have different tempos. The thing I like about Strum Machine is if you wanted to play at 1 beat per minute, you can, and it doesn't get bored with you. As a matter of fact, I was editing. I'm working on a video today. I'm doing a open back banjo shootout video and just playing. And I'm using Strum Machine as my audio in my ear, so everything gets stuck together in time. And so I use Strum Machine. It's definitely worth doing. But again, it's a matter of spending a lot of time just practicing and doing it, and give yourself some grace. Don't beat yourself up. No, you're not going to automatically be able to do it. You're just going to have to just grind at it until you can do it. It takes some time, and go to the jams, sit outside the circle, watch the guitar player or watch the banjo player, and try to copy what they're doing, and just practice slow, and you will get better at it. But it's not, there's nothing that I can tell you that's going to make you able to do it. It's what it's going to take is just, playing with those recordings and just keep trying. And if you've got like Amazing Slowdowner or any kind of slow down software that you can get digitally, you know, where you can drop an MP3 in it and it will slow it down to whatever tempo you want and still keep it in the same key. Those are so useful and very helpful. One, for just like if you wanted to transcribe a song and figure out every note that Jim Mills played on something, that's a great way to do it. But it also, you can take a song like J.D. Crow's Train 45, which is right at 200 beats a minute on this one recording, and you could slow it down to 100 beats a minute and still play along. And that,
when you slow a song down, does it mess with your ear as far as the key? How
no, I mean, because like even with YouTube, you know, YouTube allows you to change tempo on stuff and it still keeps it in the same key.
Oh, good.
If folks haven't figured that out on my YouTube channel, especially like come back to this video later and put it at like 75% or half speed, it's going to sound like I'm just half lit.
You've been hitting those corn drippings.
I have, yeah. We've been into the squeezins, and it will sound, but the pitch and all remains the same. I use that all the time, especially if I'm trying to figure out, you know, somebody's break or something. But yeah, you've got access to that. So the play along tracks, being able to slow stuff down and just take your time and do it a lot. You know, don't. I mean, I'll tell you, I wasn't just practicing 30 minutes a day when I was doing this stuff. I literally played until my parents forced me to stop playing and go to bed. And I would get up in the morning and practice before school. As soon as I got home from school, I would practice until it was time for supper. And then after supper, you know, I'd swallow my supper and go and practice until it was time to go to bed. And I'd repeat it again tomorrow. And that's how much I wanted to do it. I know everybody doesn't have that kind of time, especially, you know, adults. It's difficult, and students with schedules and stuff. But you know,
ideally, you want to find someone who plays guitar or someone you can.
Oh, it's super helpful.
Sit together with.
Definitely. And I was fortunate to have that. You know, my buddy Mark that I played with for all those years, he lived just right up the road here, not, you know, just a couple miles from here. And so we would get together every day and play. He'd play guitar and I play banjo, and then we swap. He'd play banjo, I play guitar. And that was super helpful. Another thing that's going to help you figuring out chords and stuff. And I know you're focusing on learning the banjo, but get a guitar and teach yourself to play just basic bluegrass rhythm guitar. And that's going to help you immensely. Even now, if I'm trying to figure out a song, sometimes I'll just grab the guitar.
I barely have enough time to learn the banjo, and you're telling me to learn the guitar?
Might as well learn the guitar too, you know? Hey, if you're playing banjo a little bit, guitar will be a breeze. Don't tell any guitar players I said that, but you'll at least be able to play
hands, right? It's a little tougher.
It's a little, you know, get your guitar set up, you know, get you something real easy to play, but you're just going to be playing rhythm, and that'll help you start to hear the chord changes. Because like I saw Dan mentioned in the chat earlier that it's hard for him to pick and sing. And it is hard to sing playing the banjo, but it's really easy to sing and play guitar. And that'll help. And that'll help you hear your chord changes.
Yeah. And then again, that goes back to the jam session too. If you see guitar players being able to see the chords that they're playing. But not everyone plays the chords exactly the same either. So there's a little complexity there. So
yeah, so I play regularly with Roy Curry, and Roy's world-class flat picker, and Roy knows all the chords, you know, and I can watch Roy, but most of the time I don't. I mean, I know where the chord is because I know the song, but when I look at his hand, I'm going, I don't even know that shape. And one time I had him send me a video. I said, okay, I like what you're doing on that. Will you send that to me in a little video so I can figure it out, you know, figure out those chord shapes? And, you know, it was, so yeah, you can't always count on the guitar player. So that's kind of why I taught myself to play guitar, is so I could sit and learn those chords. But yeah, just get a guitar. I mean, yeah, I know you're learning banjo, but you can do it. You can do it. It's just another instrument. It's worth the effort. It'll make you a better banjo player. I promise you.
Or if there's someone in your family, you have a child or a spouse who wants to learn, that would be really cool to be able to do that with them. Create a family band.
Yeah,
we'll get better for sure.
Yeah, so like my son now, he plays guitar, he plays banjo a little bit, plays ukulele, and he waited till he got moved out and away from me before he started any of that. So, I mean, he was playing guitar some when he still lived at home, and every now and then he'd ask me, but he wouldn't let me show him anything. But he was around it, and now it's something he enjoys to do, and it's just. But yeah, learn to play the guitar too. Anything else?
Let's do another giveaway and then move on to another question.
Let's do it.
You guys have just joined. Anyone who's just joined, we have a giveaway sign-up page at banjoallstars.com/sign-up. And if you've already signed up, reminder, you do not need to sign up again. Your entry, you're in for it. So, for better or worse. So there's the link, banjoallstars.com. And this still, let me know if you actually, here, while we wait, we'll do a question.
All right. Well, while you're looking for a question, I saw a question. Somebody asked why I didn't do Zoom lessons. I don't do Zoom lessons because I can't reach out and touch you. I can't move your fingers where I want them, and we can't play together. And so much of what I do in real life lessons is playing together. I really like to be able to reach out and touch someone, and that's a big part of it. And because that way, I mean, and I've tried to do the online video lessons with people that I genuinely like and care about. And it's very difficult, and it does not make Jim the better version of Jim. It stresses me out. So I don't do it. And furthermore, I've got tons of stuff on my channel. So if there's a song you want to learn, I've got a video for it. And that guy on the video, he's always nice.
Well, much appreciated. We have Dan Kintner,
hey Dan,
creator of the National Banjo Association Facebook group. I think you have. I don't keep track of how many subscribers you have to that group, but it's in the thousands, if I'm not mistaken. So he has a question for you today, and hopefully we can get play. He sent a video. Can you guys hear that?
No.
You don't hear it?
I hear something, but it's very faint.
All right. How about now?
Nope. How come we could hear Keely's and not this one?
Not
Kylie. Kylie, please type your name in phonetics so I'll know how to say your name.
How about I send you the link, Jim, and maybe you can have better luck.
Send it to me. Nobody else will be able to hear it, though, but go ahead and let her up.
send it to you in the chat, private chat. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll just send it to everyone. I'll send it to everyone. Keely. Oh, okay.
All right. All right. Good. Thank you, Keely.
Sorry, I had it wrong.
All right, I'm going to listen to Dan's question here. I'll crank it up. Maybe y'all can hear it. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. No, y'all won't be able to hear it because I've got my ears on. So
Well,
hang on
I
here.
posted it in the chat. Everyone can listen to it. I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, totally. Hope Dan is. I'm totally fine with it.
I heard a little bit coming through your headphones. It was loud enough.
All right. So Dan's wanting he's wanting, yeah. So it's like, how do you end the song? And so a couple of easy instrumental endings. So yeah. So Dan, like in Foggy Mountain Breakdown. So. You've got that thing on the end, but it would be nice to have something else. So like if we did Cripple Creek. So there's a variety of those things that are helpful. So I'll play a couple through slowly, and then you can come back later to the video and you can slow it down and maybe figure it out. But the first one, basically it's almost like Cripple Creek. So it's a slide, pinch, pinch, and you're going to come to your index here, 5-2-1-5. So it's a forward and reverse roll happening, and it's a 1-2-3-1 with a pull off. So slowly. And then you can put your shaven haircut on if you want it. So in Cripple Creek, that would sound like. And you could do your shaven haircut. And they're all well, they're not all, but both of these are based on the same thing. Same thing. But instead of the slide, you're just going to start at 5. And just stop right there, pull off, and then pull off. So those give you 2 things. So in Cripple Creek again. And then I have a couple of videos on endings. I've got the shaven haircut ending, and then I have the big ending where I do kind of a Roy Clark thing. And then I think I have one called Putting on the Brakes or something like that. And maybe it's still out there. I think it is. But that's a couple. So, and then, you got to have your shave and the haircut. But I have a video for that. But the one that you're going to hear more often, so like even in a song, there's a well-beaten path on this old mountainside where I wandered when I was a lad. There I wandered along to a place I called home, and those Blue Ridge Hills far away. And so you can use that. And like if you go to a jam session, and a lot of times I'll mess with people in the jam, and I will use that lick as part of a break, and folks will think I'm ending. It's such an ending lick. Is one that if you throw it in the middle of your break somewhere, folks, you will see them start to put on the brakes, and they'll think the song's over, and then you just keep playing. But yeah, musical practical joke. But that's one of the things that I do. Looks like we've lost Colin. Colin,
No,
there he is.
I wanted to give you the full screen so we can see what you're doing. Yep.
I hope that's helpful, Dan.
Yeah, thanks for submitting that, Dan. I really appreciate it. And let's move on to the pick a winner now. We're going to pick a winner.
Yeah, pick a winner. Pick a winner.
So, drum roll, banjo roll. All right, we have Jim Schimmel at yahoo.com.
Jim. Hey, Jim. Hadn't seen you in a while, man. Are you still in here? You better be in here.
Jim, if you're here, you have to announce. You have to say you're here and you won. Just say woo. Say I won.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And
let us know.
We'll get those. We'll get some cards out to you. The complete set. You think he's already an owner of these? If you know
I don't know.
And reach out to me after this, and we'll set you up with something from the store, from the Etsy store for participating. So whatever, I know you already have a bunch of this stuff, but maybe there's something you want. So we'll figure it out. So anybody whose questions were presented tonight kind of gets their pick. So within reason. We have framed Jim Pankey portraits too, so that's one of the things that we're doing.
Dan wants your banjo.
Your banjo or mine?
I think he's talking to you.
Well, it's the twanger. The twanger. The banjo. Aspertone twanger. But it's mine. So yeah, we'll get something. We'll get something out to you. So thanks, Dan. And Jim, let us know if you might not be on here. So if you're not on here, then we're going to pick another winner. We'll give it I guess he's probably not on. Sorry, Jim. Yeah, to receive your gift, you have to be present. I apologize for that. For if you weren't aware of that. So, but you only need to enter once, and so next time, hopefully, we'll be able to get something out to you. So let's pick another winner. We'll pick a random entry. Jason at hotmail.com. Jason, are you on? Jason Graff, is that you? Let me know if that's you, and you are the winner. Is that you, Jason? Jason Graff? I don't see.
There he is.
All right,
there he is.
There he said, "Woohoo!" Thanks, Jason. I'll get these out to you. I'll email you a little bit later. Oh, Jim.
Oh, there's Jim too. So
Jim, you won. All right, Jim. You got these too. So Jim and Jason are winning. I can't remember the direction to go on these cameras. Are we upside down or are we left to right?
I hope we're right side up.
So, all right, Jim, both of you and Jason get some cards. All right, let's do another question. Yeah, let's see what do we have. Okay, Gordon, we do Craig. No, we did Craig. Jameson, did we do Gordon? No, we didn't do Gordon yet. Gordon. Hopefully, maybe we'll. Maybe this one will sound better. Shoot. Give me 1 second. Thanks, Dwayne. It is a lot of fun. And let's see. Shoot. Gordon. All right, we have Gordon Sullen. Are you still on, Gordon? We're gonna repeat your question here. Hopefully you're on here. If not, hopefully you're.
Here's Gordon.
You hear it?
No. So what's the difference between this and like when
I don't know.
Keely did hers?
Shoot. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can download it. Maybe it's a browser thing. No, but Keely was on YouTube too.
Yeah.
What if I were to, let's see, stop screen, present video file.
There we go.
That was cool.
So Gordon, what I'm hearing and what I'm, and you know, I got one song to make an assessment.
Let me read his email really quick because there might be some context. I am playing an hour a day with Jim's lessons, and I find if I'm having trouble, I just have to substitute a lick here and there to get through. Here's my latest attempt. Caroline, the Teenage Queen. Thank you, Jim.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like listening to it, there are places where you're adding a note. So you would do a roll and then you'll add a note. So your eighth note roll, it now has 9 notes, and it's jogging your timing off. So like if I'm sitting here trying to count time with you, I'm hearing stuff that you've stuck in between phrases and I don't know why, and you don't either, but you're doing it. And so you need to pay real close attention, like how one phrase stops and the next phrase starts. And if you're working from the tab, be sure to really focus on getting, those phrases, and don't add anything. If you're working primarily by ear, that's fine too, but really focus on making sure that you have the right amount of notes in each spot where they're supposed to be, because it would be really hard for me to play along. And like if we were doing a lesson, one-on-one lesson, then I could find every little spot where, and I could identify for you everywhere where you've added something, and then we could stop and fix it right then. But it would be super helpful for you to take stuff like that and just slow it way down, but make sure that you've got all the right notes and no extra notes, because I'm hearing you play extra notes and it's pushing the song back. So like if I were playing guitar with you, every time you add an extra note, I've got to pause and catch up. And that's not going to work if you're playing with anybody else. And it's not going to work if you're trying to play and sing along with it yourself. So definitely pay attention to the amount of notes that you're putting into each roll. Each phrase should never be more than 8, or it should never be more than, the right number of beats. Really don't even count notes, but count your beats. But like in that song, the way I taught it, there's, for the most part, it's 8th notes, and you definitely want to make sure that you're not adding anything. And I'm hearing you add stuff in between little musical phrases in it, and it's going to cause you. It's causing you a problem now. It's only going to get worse if you don't attend to it. And so definitely take some time, and some play along tracks would definitely help and show you. How that works. And not a metronome, but a play along track, because find Lonesome River Band's version of that on YouTube, slow it down to 50% and just try to play along with it. And that will show you exactly where the issue are. Because as soon as you get off, then as soon as it doesn't sound like you're playing with them, then you know that there's a problem, and you got to go back and hopefully you can identify it that way. But that's a case where having somebody that you can play with really helps. And that's the situation that I can fix in an in-person lesson that I can't really fix online. So that's something you have to really focus on. And you can do it. All the notes are there. Truthfully, all the notes are there. And then you got a bunch of extra ones that we need to go in and clip out and make it all work. And without just sitting down with a video at length, and giving you point by point, where it is. But and that will take a bit, but definitely you've got some extra notes and stuff going on, and just be careful with that and be mindful of that as you're playing. Hope that's helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Gordon. That was I got a sense of some soul in there, though. So that was really pleasing.
Oh yeah. No, tone is good. Your tone production's good. You got some feeling going on. It's just you got some extra notes that we need to prune.
All right, we have another. I think one last question that was submitted.
Okay. Let's do it.
We actually have 2 more. We have one from Dwayne.
All right, let's hear Dwayne's.
I think I sent you his link on Facebook.
You did. Can you screen it here so everybody can see it?
Let me see here. Dwayne.
I think it's helpful. Everybody sees it, and that's working. Whatever you're doing there is working really well. So it's like you screen share that or something.
What I did was I downloaded the video, and then from StreamYard, you can actually upload a video. And
that's perfect.
Yeah. So
hey, so the next interview is going to go really well.
Yeah.
You'll know all of that.
We'll give this a shot. I don't think I can download. Wait, maybe I can download. I can download. All right. Let's see. All right, Dwayne, you're coming up next. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it.
I'm Dwayne Hess here, and one question I have for you is, banjo players are notorious for tinkering with their banjo, chasing the elusive tone. What kind of advice do you have for us banjo players who are like that?
Oh, Dwayne, if you keep picking at it, it's never going to get any better. You know, we all do it. You know, we change bridges, we try different heads, we try different tail pieces, and it's a matter of making little tiny changes and then living with them for a while. You know, before you make a huge change, make a little change. You know, it's like, oh, why don't I just, it's like, what would happen if I adjusted my tailpiece and I lowered it just a little bit? How's that going to affect the tone? So I lower it a little bit, tune up, and then I'm immediately going to notice something different. But you got to give it time, one, for your banjo to adjust to it. Two, you got to give it time for you to adjust to it. And then live with that for several days, maybe a week, and see if that's really the sound you're after. And then it's like, yeah, that's an improvement. Okay, that's an improvement. Let's try a different bridge. And like, if I take this bridge off and I put a new bridge on, well, it's going to sound different. And a lot of times we're going to put a new bridge on, and I won't say that we might dislike it, but we might not be thrilled with it. It's just different. And sometimes it takes a little bit. There's a process. One, your banjo's got to get used to it. Two, you got to get used to it, you know, because you may have to play a little harder, or you may have to play a little lighter, or you know, there's things to try, but you know, don't make radical changes. So when it comes to banjo setup, for me, and it's a process that for me, it takes a while. And, you know, like head tension, I mean, I'll tighten it just a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. I might go an eighth of a turn, but you know, on each bracket, and never much more than that. And then I'll live with it for a while. And then I'll decide, okay, then I need something else, or I should do this. But I rarely make drastic changes. So little changes, nothing big, you know. Oh, you're going to change string gauges. Well, you don't want to go from a set of 9s to a set of 11s. That's a huge change. But you might could go from a 9 to a 9.5. See how that sounds. Oh, I like that. Well, maybe I'll try a set of 10s next time. Then you got some room to work. But making a big change, going from a set of 9s to like going from a GHS PF 110 set where you got a 9 on the first string to a PF 180 set where you've got an 11 on the first string. I mean, that's a big change. So, and if you did try that, it's like give yourself a week or more on those new strings before you decide if you like them or not. I think a lot of times we're looking for immediate satisfaction in a setup change, when sometimes it just takes a while to have it where it's at. But yeah, and just learn to make tiny changes. I mean, that's what I do. You know, I don't make big changes all of a sudden. I kind of have a general idea where I'm going with a setup, but I've been doing this a while. But for somebody new, you know, make a little change, get used to that sound, make another little change, get used to that sound. Eventually you're going to find something that works for you. Just be patient, That's the biggest thing. We all want instant results. And sometimes, the microwave oven isn't the right answer for cooking that turkey. So yeah, take your time on your setup changes. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah, and Dwayne, thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate really having you on here tonight. Really special. And the fact that you're asking questions about tone means you're far ahead. So that's really good. So us beginners are working on our timing.
I had to plug in my computer.
Right. So yeah. So thanks, Dwayne. Reach out to me after this, and we can pick something out from the store and get something out to you as my thanks for you jumping on and participating.
So you got one more question?
Yeah, this one came in a little late. We have a text question.
Okay.
LLD, I think he said his name was Lance.
Right.
Yeah, Lance. Let me see if I can pop that in there. Here we go. Where did it go? All right. You guys see that? Okay. Banjo Hawk or Lance. I'm a beginner player. I have been practicing for a few months. I have a wide neck banjo gold tone CC 100 RW, as well as a standard size banjo during good time. I had one of those too. Is it not for me to switch banjos while practicing because of the non-consistency in the learning process? I feel like I like the wider neck better. Also, I also want to learn clawhammer too. So again, like the other question, should I just stick to one style and when comfortable with one style, try the other style of playing? Thanks, Lance.
So good question. I don't think it's an issue to. Well, look, you already know that you prefer the one banjo to the other, and so for now, yeah, maybe play the one. I've got a room full of banjos. I've got a few, and I switch out, but
hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Can everyone hear you? Okay. Can mention in the chat if he's coming in all kind of scrambled, or is it just me?
Am I scrambled? Well, should be pretty scrambled. I haven't changed anything.
Huh. That's weird. Could be me.
No,
all right. It is scrambled. Yeah, sound a bit. Thanks. Oh, hey, Eric.
Hang on.
Thanks, Eric.
Let me. All right. I may disappear for something. I'll be.
Robo Jim. Thanks for jumping. How long have you been here, Eric? That's my favorite. You guys can hear me okay, or am I scrambled too? Yeah, I bet he'll be back. Oh, he's texting me. Okay, he's back. Oh, okay. He's on a different, let me remove him. There you go.
Okay, is this better? Or am I still scrambled?
Sounds pretty good.
Okay, I jumped routers. I jumped on a different router, so hopefully that's better.
The internet in Georgia, huh?
Oh yeah, well, we're proud to have anything. The dial-up connection is slow. All right. So the question, what was my question again?
He's got two banjos and he's
two banjos. Yeah. So you're saying that you like the one with a wider neck. So hang with that one for a while. But as far as learning multiple styles at the same time, heck, I did. I was learning bluegrass and clawhammer. I was learning three finger and clawhammer. But I would focus on one and then on the other. But yeah, I don't think it's going to mess you up too bad just swapping banjos. I mean, you got the luxury of having two. Put one in one room, put one in another room, and then you've got access to it wherever you are. And so I don't think it's going to be a big deal to work with both of them. But I mean, definitely if you're more comfortable with one, I mean, nothing wrong with just playing it. But but back to the multiple style questions, yeah, just you can learn both at the same time. I mean, we go to school and they give you 6 classes. And you learn it all at the same time. So you can learn, you can learn
for yourself.
You can learn.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do both. You can do both. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Lance. That's a good question. And, let's do one more giveaway and then we'll call it.
All right.
Did I miss anything? Did I miss anyone?
No, Jameson, you're still going to study, dude. You're still going to study. You'll just be up late.
All right, we're going to pick one more winner. If you haven't entered yet, I'm pretty sure all of you have entered by now. If you haven't entered yet, go to banjoallstars.com/giveaway-sign up. Yes, Eric, I built this page myself. A little inside between us. All right, let's pick a random entry. All right. We have Jeremy at gmail.com. Jeremy, just give us a shout out that this is you, and we'll get these cards out to you. You get the full complete set, all 12 packs, and everything. So thank you for jumping on. Give you a couple minutes to give us a shout out. Come on, Jeremy. You're welcome, Dan. Thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it. All right, I think we're gonna roll again. Oh wait, there he is. Just in the nick of time.
Boy,
thanks, Jeremy. Yeah. That's yours. Perfect. All right, congrats. You'll get one of these sets. So I'll reach out to you afterwards, and we'll get it out to you. Everything. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on. I want to do this at least once a month, and depends on who's going to come and join us. I have a few other players that are itching to get on board, so it looks pretty good over for the next month or two. And so look out for that. Thank you for jumping on and subscribing to the channel, of course. This is a brand new channel, and any likes, if you haven't liked this presentation yet, go ahead and give it a like, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and get notified. I know I'm going to be doing live streams at least once a month, but maybe in between we'll have other guests on to talk about things, not necessarily live streams, but other types of content. So, but I'm kind of starting out with these live streams at first, just to see how it goes, and that's it. So, thanks for jumping on and running this experiment with me, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Jim, thank you so much. We'll see you around on your channel, on your TikTok. You want to give us a little more detail on where to find you?
You can find me just about everywhere. I'm like Santa Claus. I am everywhere, and I am watching. No, you can find me on TikTok. I'm probably going to do a live stream on my TikTok channel as soon as we get off of here. I won't be sitting here. I'll be in bed. I do my live streams from bed. It's that cozy. And then, you can catch me on YouTube. I have a Facebook page. You can find me there. I'm on Instagram. I'm everywhere. So look me up. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. And thanks for letting me help you learn to play the banjo. I mean, that's a big deal, right? Look, I know I've got 100,000 subscribers. I mean, I know that, but I never really understood the impact until just recently. I went to the grocery store, not even in my own hometown. I was away from town, and I went to a store to grab some stuff. And somebody caught me in the produce section and says, "Hey, you're Jim Pankey." And then I went to Spigma just recently, and the number of people that stopped me and, thanked me for helping them learn to play the banjo was just overwhelming, and it was wild. And I don't even know the words for it, but it was definitely a humbling experience to know that I've helped that many people learn the banjo. I mean, some people might call that a crime, but I think, but it has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
I have to say, meeting you in person too, I just want to say you're way taller than I thought.
I'm only this big on screen.
I know. You're very compact on my little iPhone.
Yeah, and I've also, see, this is another thing. I've also learned how to film myself so I look smaller. So there's that.
So
learned how to pose.
Really appreciate you jumping on, Jim. Hope we'll get you on again if you'll have us.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Anytime. If somebody bails out on you, just let me know. I'll jump right in.
Will do. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think this is a kind of a new thing, isn't it? I don't see many people doing these types of.
I've never done anything like this. I don't know anybody else that has done this. I've never done this. This is a fantastic idea. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we'll see how it goes, but I have a lot of high hopes for it. So thank you.
All right.
Guys, thank you again. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
We're out.